If you just now tuning in, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell. GMS fam, the green room. Let's enjoy this weekend. Yo, GMS fam, the green room. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling? Happy Friday. I'm about to cough in this motherfucker because you know we got one lit. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Anarchy 16-9, my guy JR Miller, Slam Newton Sanaa, motherfucking Trey 979 in the building. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling, man? It's Friday. You know, we start out every show with peace, love, positive energy, good vibes, passing it forward to you, hoping that you pass it forward as well to everybody else. Keep that green mind state. Hope everybody's getting to the goals, getting to the money, achieving everything that they could in this life, taking care of their family, their kids, doing what you got to do to survive. Keep that green mind state, baby. How y'all feeling, man? I see you. What up, Binky? What up, Prophylactic? We got some things to discuss today. And you know it's Friday, so you know I'm doing this show. And we're going to be kicking it on 3G's podcast later tonight at 8 p.m. So make sure you go subscribe over there as well. Now, if you see the title, if you see the thumbnail, what up, Roz? What up, Reality? You know we got some things to talk about. First and foremost, we're going to get into the Fresh and Fit and Flagrant 2 interaction. So ever since the clips came out and the controversy has spread around of the Fresh and Fit guys, they have been finding their way, making their rounds on other podcasts to be interviewed to talk about these things and I guess go on some type of explanation tour. I guess Fresh reached out to Andrew Schultz of the Flagrant 2 podcast and also accompanied co-host with Akash Singh. I don't know if you guys watch Flagrant 2, but it is a very funny podcast, a very dope podcast. But they had the guys at Fresh and Fit on there. What up, Aries? What up, Young Rain? And they all had a conversation about everything that was the controversy surrounding them and also their goal of what their channel is and what it is that they do. So while they were sitting there on the podcast, they were trying to explain themselves in different ways. And in my opinion, some things were being exposed. Now, I'm looking at it from my perspective. I know some people may see it differently. Let's get into that conversation. But first, I want y'all to see how this went down because, for one, I don't know what they thought was going to happen when they came here, but I know they didn't expect to have Alex Media, who also is part of Flagrant 2, and Akash to be on their heads during this interview. I think they probably thought that this was going to be their way to have an outlet where people agree with them. Like, oh, look, these guys agree with me and they agree with what we're talking about. They're laughing about it as jokes. But they opened up a bigger conversation surrounding these guys, I guess, intentions when it comes to the things that they're doing. So let's listen to what it is they're going to do. I can't play the video, but we're going to listen to audio, a couple minutes of a clip. This part right here is when they talk about the preferences and how what they were saying was just a joke and it was just a preference. But Alex Media ended up calling them out on that and putting a hole in their statement. Listen to this.
I want to say not funny to them, but to us is like we're just cracking jokes, trying to be.
You're being hyperbolic about your dating preferences.
Yeah,
right. That's
much.
kind of how I took it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I think I think you can understand how the internet might have taken it, right? And then doubling down and being like, it's okay to have this as a preference that you like. Usually, your preference is what you like, not what you don't.
Exactly.
I think that was the biggest issue. Like, if you just
Yes.
like, hey, my preference is I kind of like Latinas, I don't even think you get any pushback. But
Right.
saying my preference is I don't like that. That's, I think, where people start to feel rejected, and then they go, why don't you like me, man? Like,
And
what's
also
wrong?
the
Yeah.
way they said they didn't like it. Like that's what I was like bothered by the clip.
This is
It's
Alex
like,
Media
You guys
talking.
go out of your way to say what you don't like, even though that's not what you're discussing. It's like your preference is what you do like, but then the way in which you went about how you don't like black women. Oh, I don't like the ratchet. I don't like the ghetto. I don't like the Shaniquas. Like, that's like, if you were a white person saying all that, that's racist shit. And I'm just disappointed in you guys as black men to be talking about our sisters like that. So you don't
Using that term, black men loosely.
have a problem with the way you spoke about your sisters like that? Like if it was him saying the same thing, you would be upset.
No.
So if he was like, oh, I don't like ghetto black women, I don't like Shaniquas.
It wouldn't bother me.
That's a preference.
Wow.
Because the thing is that
That's lame.
Alex said that's lame. And the person that said he wouldn't get mad was Myron. Of course it was Myron. Myron's I don't even have to say. But of course Myron would be of course he's not going to take offense to a white dude talking about black women that way. He doesn't fuck with black women. So he's not going to, I believe him when he says that. Alex was trying to point something out, but Alex forgot that he was talking to the guy that don't like black women. So of course he's going to agree. Here's his excuse as to what he means by that.
the only thing I can control is my reactions to what happens
What up,
in the
Simo?
world. Like, the world is not a fun, it's not like a rosy place where everyone is going to not be biased or not be racist or whatever. Like, I understand that there's going to be people that are inherently racist. It is what it is. The only thing I can control is my emotions to it. So I don't get mad about what people say because that's just the way things are. The world doesn't owe me understanding. So all I can do is control.
Real quick. You know what's weird is like
So
the word
it
racist
wouldn't
keeps
affect me
getting
personally.
thrown out. Like I never saw it as racist because I don't know. I didn't believe that you guys wouldn't date a beautiful black woman.
Yeah, we
that,
have in
like,
the past for sure.
Yeah, like I just didn't believe that. And again, you guys can correct me, but like for me, the word like preference is so weird because I think our preferences are really like mechanisms that we use to find like emotional security. You know, like if a person's like super quiet, like if I'm like this quiet, like shy dude, my preference is probably an aggressive girl because she allows me to be in my safe place.
Right.
I don't have to go like out of my way to go get her. And I'll probably prefer that girl, but it's not based on like this chemistry thing. It's really based on like what allows me to feel like emotionally secure. Right. And like, let's say I'm a controlling ass dude. I probably want a girl that is a little bit more like in need of guidance because submissive, because then I get to feel my safe place, which is controlling.
Right.
So like, I feel like if a girl, and again, I can't speak for y'all, but I feel like if a girl gave you that emotional security, regardless of what race they were, you guys would date them, no?
Now, here's Andrew talking some sense. Now, here's what I think about Fresh and Fit as a podcast and what it is that they do. They do a lot of projecting, a lot of things that they went through in their lives and how women responded to them and accepted them, which I see a lack thereof, acceptance of certain women they probably wanted to date when they were younger, coming up. they are now trying to teach men everything that they wish they would have done in the first place dealing with women. And then they hide behind the excuse of, oh, we know about these guys because we read about this stuff. We do our research. We look at these dating apps and we get all these comments and these stories from men. But the outcome of it is basically you forming their opinion for them, because these guys, the guys that they're teaching, don't really have a mind of their own. They can't get no women. They can't get nobody to have sex with them, so they need other guys to tell them how. It's weird.
I can't feel like
Here's the
just
thing
because they're black, you would say no.
Yeah, here's the thing about the clip.
Context.
Like I said, it's context. It's
Yeah.
us having a good time. It's us making jokes. We make fun of everyone. It's just that they don't clip all the
We
other
do, Young
segments
Rain,
of
we
us
do.
making jokes on everyone else. They want to clip that one
We all
one
human.
section at 20, 30 seconds. Say that, try to paint a narrative. You guys are racist, and because you guys are racist, this is why you kicked
I
Asian
don't
doll
think
off your show.
racist.
And
I don't think racist.
I never saw
and the
racist,
racist.
yeah.
I don't.
But
what-
I'm just saying,
Akash
what
brings
No,
they're
that's
up a
trying
good
to
point.
paint us
And
as,
you
know
guys,
what I'm saying?
I know people who know you. They say you're good guys, stand-up guys. So I don't have a problem with you as people.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have you on this podcast. And then you know what I mean, like
Yeah, sure, we can have a
give you
discussion on
dap
it,
or
yeah.
whatever. But
I'm
I,
like curious. This isn't
it's
a
not
gotcha thing.
racist
Like,
to
I'm
me.
literally curious to have the conversation.
Yeah, what does
Yeah,
bother
yeah.
me that I think it's not racist is self-loathing, which to me, I don't particularly give a fuck how any other race looks at us. I give a fuck how we look at ourselves.
There
So
we
if
go.
I saw an Indian saying some shit like that, that would bother me more. Andrew told me he doesn't like Indian girls all the time. That's great. Don't date them. That's good for me. But when an Indian says
More
that
for you,
shit,
right?
then it's like, yo,
I
you.
do that because you say you don't like white women.
I know. And
But if you
isn't
keep
it-
this up,
but
I'm
isn't
going to
that
divorce my wife and fuck a lot of Indian chicks.
isn't that refreshing from a minority though? You look at
Another reason why you guys should watch Flagrant 2, make sure you go subscribe if you haven't, and go watch some episodes if you haven't before. Flagrant 2 is actually a really good podcast.
the rest of the record. But I have a problem with somebody that I feel is self-loathing, and I'm not going to be as offended because you're not from where I'm from. But if I was black and
Okay,
I
so
was
what do you
Alex,
say-
I'd be like, yo, that shit is more than racist, is self-loathing, and that bothers me.
What
as
do you
people on
guys
the
say
platform.
about that?
Now, I get what he's saying there, because when I watched that clip, the first thing in my mind was, these guys aren't racist. Now, I wasn't thinking about them being racist. I'm thinking about how dumb they look being black guys talking about black women like that. It makes you look stupid. It doesn't matter how the joke was. And if you're going to tell a joke, make it be a joke. Don't try to mask your actual feelings behind the joke. I feel like that's how they actually felt. And I think Andrew makes a good point later on about how they actually feel, because the difference between the podcasts, you're talking about you making a joke, and it's just a joke. Come on, guys, just a joke. But your platform isn't based around jokes. See, the platform you're on now, Flagrant 2, they tell jokes. Those are comedians. Every single one of them in the room besides Alex Media is a comedian. So when they are on the podcast, they can talk about serious subjects, but they can also make jokes, and their jokes can also be what people may consider flagrant, pun intended. That they make sometimes harsh jokes. They might have to, they might get backlash for the shit, but their podcast is based around the fact that they're comedians and they got opinions on certain shit. That's not the case for Fresh and Fit. So people are gonna take their opinion or even some of their jokes more seriously than anything, because they're not there to joke around with the guys on there. They're there to teach those guys on their podcast, right? Now, I have to get to this question that Fresh asked, because this one got he got called out for being a hypocrite for this. Fresh, of course, the dude that opens up his mouth to say certain things and then ends up getting made to look stupid because he just doesn't know what he's talking about. This is what happens. Hold on one second. Reality Watch said this actually wasn't the first time they've said that on the show. Young Rain said it's only an issue when a man says something about a black woman, but if a woman said the same thing, the story would be she just tried and want more. Nah, not necessarily. Not necessarily, because I see niggas calling out black women all the time. It's vice versa, man. It's both ways. That's why people are trying to find the common ground between black men and women right now. That's why people are trying to find that common ground right now, because there's such a distance between both of us. You know what I'm saying? So this is my part in trying to bridge that gap, because I don't want that narrative out. I don't want people to talk about black women in that way. And I also don't want black women to talk about black men in that way. See, I'm not just getting on their case. If you remember months ago, I got on Cynthia G case. Cynthia G, the woman that's talking about black men being expendable. She was the first person I got on. I didn't even talk. I've never talked about them before that. That was the first person I got on because I don't subscribe to that type of shit. You're not going to demean black men and you're not all black men and you're not going to demean all black women. Point blank period. That's what I stand for. I don't know about anybody else, but that's what I stand for. Now listen to this.
Matches certain traits that I'm looking for in a woman. But what I'm saying is that most of the women that I've dealt with just don't tend to be black, and it's not something I necessarily go for.
That black women tend not to have? This is a dangerous question, but I have to ask.
I mean, there's obviously we know the stereotypes, which I won't even go into right now, but a lot of the time it doesn't necessarily match with what I'm looking for.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Wait, quick question for y'all in here. Have you ever dated a hood black chick?
Yeah.
Have you?
Only Indian girls.
Have you?
Oh.
That's why, again, I have.
So, if you were to prefer a girl, would you date her? Question for you.
I don't look at, I'm like, race doesn't come into play. Like, I just look at the traits. Like, you guys, that's why I don't understand how you don't see an issue with what you said. Because you both just said, hey, I look for traits first, like the personality traits, and it doesn't matter her skin tone. But then in the clip, you guys are saying, I don't date black. I don't date dark. I don't fuck with Shaniqua's. Like, you're just talking about race in that entire clip. So how do you not see the problem with the clip when you both just say, hey, I go for personality
You said
first?
LaShonda and LaQuisha.
And you said you don't do dark.
That was a joke, bro.
Oh, so
That was a joke.
I think there's a lot of reading into this like clip right now. Like it's like
Here's what I think though. I think
I
you
do
guys,
believe.
like-
I do believe.
it's a joke, man.
joke,
I mean,
Like-
that's a cop out.
Yeah.
It's a cop. Like if
man.
your show is educational and I'm trying to help people, and then when I say something wrong, oh, that was a joke.
I run around the room.
We gotta
with
make
a
it
Naruto
entertaining
hat.
too, bro.
I
You
think
know what I'm
ninja
saying?
stuff.
I'm
like,
always
we make
going to be
jokes, bro.
on the
Yeah.
side. I'm always going to be on the side of jokes, and that's just who I am. I'm a comedian. I support.
We
that, and
also
I
can't
support-
necessarily ask him to have the same empathy as us as
Yeah, of course.
comedians.
Al's not a
and
comedian.
That's a black dude.
Al's not a
so
comedian.
that's
But
not
a comedian, I always
So
got to defend
I can
jokes.
understand. I'm trying to be funny and I misword some shit. But then when I peel it back and I go to and I dig into what you're saying, it's still just as it's more troubling to me.
So say that. Like say, hey, I misspoke. I told a bad joke. But you guys are doubling down and saying that you're like, there's nothing wrong with what I said.
Nope.
There's nothing wrong at all.
But
See,
I don't.
like,
but that's
that's
cap.
bullshit. That's
Y'all both
bullshit.
said that you date black women as long as they fit the things that you want.
It's not our normal
But
preference.
but like,
you know,
but like, okay. You're
They be
taking
stuttering like a
Double
motherfucker
Dark
when
as,
they
like,
wrong.
every blogger. We're saying
Yeah.
LaQuisha, LaShonda. I'm not dating no hood black chick, bro. Hell no.
So you misspoke. You made a bad joke.
Nigga, we said it's a joke.
No, but I'm saying so you made a bad joke. So you wish you didn't say that.
No.
Like,
But is
you're being
this
hypocrites. You're being
See, now that's that shit right there. That's exactly what he was trying to point out. They meant what they said. So if you made a joke and it was a bad joke and it made you look like you don't like black women, you should probably take accountability and say that instead of being like, no, I meant what I said, but we're not saying we don't like all black. No, you can't say you meant what you said about black women and then go back and be like, no, but I it's not like we don't date black. No, come on, man. Take accountability for the things that you said. That's all he was trying to do. That's all Alex was trying to do, is have them take accountability for what they said. Now let's move forward just a little bit more. Myron and Fresh try to explain dating life between men and women, and what they don't realize is that they are basing their teachings off all the girls that never wanted them, and the fact they need money, or the fact that they need money and popularity to get pussy. Because what they're teaching people on their podcast, I get it. It's an essential thing for some men to try to get some type of lesson on how to, pick up women if they don't have that type of lesson. But I don't know if these are the necessarily the guys you want to learn from.
just realize it's kind of empty.
In today's dating marketplace, the way dating is between men and women, girls have a crazy upper hand. You know what I'm saying? And we've talked about this with how the world's changed with Instagram, online dating apps, etc. Women really have all their leverage when it comes to dating and relationships nowadays. So what we teach guys is to kind of go into this fight that you're talking about and be prepared. Most women are using rocket launchers and guys are going in there
Appreciate
either
your
bare fists or with butter knives, right? They don't really know what they're doing. So we tell them, listen, man, you got to understand how women operate, how they think, etc. And a lot of girls finesse guys. So we teach guys female nature, how to understand how women communicate versus how men communicate, how to get what you want out of relationships without getting finessed. Because the thing between men and women is that men are trying to get sex, women are trying to get money, time, attention, resources, whatever, and both genders are leveraging, right, their asset to get the other commodity from the other without necessarily giving up their asset. Men want to get the box without necessarily having to go on dates and spend money. Girls want to get the money and the dates without necessarily giving up box. So it's a delicate dance between the two where you're going to try to, you know, get what you want out of dating. And unfortunately, most guys don't know how to navigate this properly, you know? So that's what we teach guys, to basically fight fire with fire, because girls are playing the game. Girls are finessing guys. You know, we have a whole sugar daddy epidemic going on right now. We have got a bunch of girls finessing dudes. So we teach guys how to fight fire with fire, honestly. And, you know, you got to know what you're doing when you deal with women, because they're playing the game. So you got to play it as well.
But now you hear what he just said. They want to help men combat the women who are out there looking for specific things. They want to be able to fight fire with fire, trying to teach men how to basically be at war with women, not in the way of like harming each other, but it's like both of them trying to just get as much as they can out of each other. Both opportunists, basically. No real connection, no real love, no real care, no real anything, but more so, hey, what can we gain off each other as much as we can until we can't no more? How much can I profit off of you? It's a weird system, but that's what they're teaching people. Now listen to what they had to say to respond to that.
Here's the thing. I got to get pushed back on that, because here's the thing. I don't think that every girl that you're meeting is trying to finesse. I do understand what you're saying. Not every. And I think most, to be honest with you, like if you're charming and you're down to have a good time and have fun, they want to have fun too. I think most women are dealing with such boring guys that if you're an actual guy that's funny and entertaining, their eyes light up and they're so down to enjoy your time and your company. And I think most women are actually entering these relationships insecure. They're going to fuck it up. They're going to be, oh, am I going to be too clingy? Should I not call him every 3 days? I think it's actually like to a guy's detriment to think of women as these people that you're fighting, so to say. Like, these women are more nervous than you. Once a woman likes you, she's terrified she's going to fuck it up. She's calling her friends. She's calling her father. She's calling her mother.
Andrew, you got to get to that point. So like the
that
thing
point
is
a 30-minute conversation. She's like, I'm going to marry this guy.
Hold on. Here's the thing. Most dudes are invisible to most girls.
Yeah.
Women only see a small percentage of men.
Here's the projection. Pay attention to what he just said. Most men are invisible to most girls. No, you two were invisible to most girls. Now, I want y'all to hear what I just said and continue to listen to what they're saying.
Men,
Top guys.
most guys are virtually invisible to them. That's the reality.
So I think if you enter in with that mentality, that's how you're gonna see it. But I think if you enter with the mentality like nobody should be invisible to me, I'm the fucking shit, that girl's gonna figure that out.
Of course, but we gotta accept reality.
Yeah,
that is reality.
That is
Hold on.
reality.
So let me just add this, right?
Yeah.
So your point of
Here
view
he
is from your
goes.
experience, right?
Yeah.
We talk to guys and girls every night, every single day. We're actually in the dating field every day, dating apps, sugar sites. We're in there in the field, learning real time.
In
So
the
when we give
field.
advice regarding this topic, bro, it's like we're in the field with girls right now.
In Miami.
So like his experience and him saying this is because we see guys suffering. That you know the hardest part? They don't know what to do. They're out here.
I
they want to
agree.
get girls. They know what to do. So imagine
So
a
you
girl
teach
that's
them to trick girls into giving them
a
pussy?
girl that's capable and knows what she's doing.
That's unfair.
Meets a guy that doesn't know what he's doing. She's gonna take advantage. It's just human nature.
Well, why? I don't think she'll take advantage, to be honest with you. I think she just won't be interested. And I think that if we look at
That's
women,
the problem, though.
Yeah, but if we look at women like predators, that's a bad perception for a guy who's trying to find a woman that he wants to marry. Like for me, I'm trying to find a girl I want to marry, right?
Now, let me get to some of these comments real quick. Excuse me. Let's see. These are the Prophylactic said these are the guys who were sitting in paid seminars on how to get laid. Simo said we all know what comes with picking a mate. The way they go about giving advice about it is terrible. Scratching my head. Young Rain said it's crazy how people are so tight over that statement, yet the very next show black women filled those seats. Yeah, let me say something too. There's a lot of black people who don't give a damn, who aren't self-aware, who will hear that statement and then pull up because clout and their popularity and them being on a very popular show where everybody can see them and they can get more followers and probably more people to subscribe to their OnlyFans is more important than these guys talking down on black women. That's just my opinion. Anybody who actually had any self-respect for themselves and heard that probably wouldn't have went on there. So that's my response to that. But you got to hear more. You got to hear a little bit more of what they said about
Right.
this.
So I can't go into a relationship with someone that I'm about to trust with my life and my kid's life as, oh, this girl's a predator. She's trying to get over me. She's trying to figure it out. Right. I have to go in open, and then I actually have to go in going, oh my shit, do I really like this girl? Is this person I want to spend the rest of my life with? I know that she would want to spend the rest of her life with me because I'm a great guy.
Well, we tell guys to go in with
Open
defense.
mind.
And here's the thing too, guys.
Yeah.
But why are they
we're
so
in a-
defensive? Why are they scared? It's like,
You got to be aware.
So we're in a
do
unique
they?
position.
It's not the forest, bro.
We're in a
You
very
the
unique-
lion, but you teaching them like they the fucking gazelle.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
we the lions out here, bro.
So here's the thing. So we're in a very unique position because we talk to thousands of guys.
Yeah.
And we also talk, at this point, we've interviewed
Cynthia
well
G
over
is a
1,000 girls on
nut.
our podcast.
Yeah.
And there's been some things that have come up that made me realize,
See it in her
okay,
face.
this is why we have these issues with dating. The reality is this. I'm going to boil it down for y'all. Most women are delusional of where they think they stand, and most guys underrepresent themselves of where they think. So girls have an overinflated sense of ego for the most part, because we ask them all the time. We actually have a delusion calculator we use. And we ask them, hey, what type of guy are you looking for? And when they put in their ideal man, every single time, he's in the top 1% pretty much. Very rare, you know? We're talking well over 6 feet, over $100,000 per year, not married, not obese, etc.
Not weird.
Yeah. So
You asked the ideal.
no, of course, but they all think that they deserve that as well, is what I'm trying to say. They say that's what they want, and they feel that they deserve it as well.
Don't you guys
Right?
think you
So-
deserve your preferences?
Yeah.
No, well,
here's the problem. Good.
so, but these girls are not necessarily in a position to demand that kind of man when there's not enough of these guys to go around. You get what I'm saying? And then the thing is with that guy is that guy has the leverage, not necessarily the women, because once you get to a certain point as a guy, you now actually have the leverage where you're the commodity versus her. You know, she's just an attractive younger girl, but there's plenty of girls like that. So that's what we've kind of found in the
Y'all
dating
didn't have
place.
broke
And
friends that got pussy growing up?
Here's the thing: they might get girls
Like-
or whatever, but are they going to be able to keep them? Are they going to be able to
I had a
consistently
friend.
maintain
We had
them?
a friend that he was my roommate. He would walk out of the
Yeah.
house every day with an old hoodie with a mustard stain on it, and the guy got tons of pussy.
How-
Bro,
how-
I was
how
getting
long ago
tons
was
of
this?
pussy living with my parents, walking them into the living room, seeing my mom drink Bud Lights.
Here's a problem.
Like, is this idea
I
that
know.
like it's so hard to get laid and all this? That's the fallacy. The fallacy is that they're not as equally as nervous. What they are is bored. Women are bored with corny fucking pickup lines and shit. But
Yes.
teaching guys that they got to be terrified and they're these
Not
fucking
be
monsters,
terrified.
these predators.
Just
like,
go
man
in.
up. Stop being a
We
bitch.
don't tell guys to be terrified.
Nah.
We tell them to go in and understand how women think, how they operate, and put yourself in a defensive position where you're vetting the girl.
Yeah, but
She's
that's
gotta
his point.
comply.
Why are you in a
Can I-
defensive position? Sorry, you're right.
Yeah. So
Why are you in a defensive position? We gotta go to this part real quick of Fresh once again opening his mouth and saying some dumb shit and being checked on it. Listen to this.
I think that you're great, and if you don't like me, that's fine. I'm not going to put any pressure, but please know, like that's why I want to hang out with you.
But let's be real here. When a girl meets you for the first time, right? She already knows if she's gonna fuck you or not.
Facts.
So you playing games with her. Oh, let's see what happens, bro. She already knows.
I think that's some shit
That's
we
not
say.
true.
I don't think
it
that's
is
That's
true.
not true.
100%.
Matter of fact,
not
I have another friend, not a great looking guy. Shouts to Real Battle. I hope you're watching. He said, every girl I've ever fucked said, I didn't think I was going to fuck you.
Yep.
And he goes, I know.
Well, here's
Every
the
girl.
thing. There might be exceptions to the rule, but most average guys struggle with women. And the thing is that from us talking with thousands of men, and at this point, well over 1,000 women on our podcast, average women, girls that are very average,
yeah.
expect that they deserve a man that's well above average.
Good,
and
they
that's kind of
should.
where it's
But
skewed.
Aren't you teaching men to expect the same thing?
To what do you mean, as far as like to get the best?
You're
girl that
not
they can
teaching
get?
men to expect mediocrity. You're teaching men to expect the best thing. So what's wrong with these girls wanting to expect
No, they
more?
can have their
Damn.
standards, but man, come on, let's be honest.
Be
Does every
delusional
girl-
in life.
exactly.
When y'all
Does
decide to have a
every girl
podcast, right?
deserve,
But
you know,
then
listen
when
to
you
this.
decide to have a podcast and enter this podcast in space, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were delusional in your ability to believe in yourselves. You're like, oh shit, we're gonna create content that other podcasts, other blogs are talking about. We're gonna put an imprint on this space. That's delusion, and it worked. Delusion is America. Everybody should be
The
delusional.
American dream is delusion.
Hey, he has a fucking point. You know the saying, speak it into existence. That has been something that has been used all across the board with everybody. I'm pretty sure most of the people in this chat right now has either heard that saying or probably used that. Right now, what's happening with life in general, I like to speak a lot of things into existence. You know, words are powerful and the mind is powerful. Things that you can think of and actually put forth the effort to create can actually come true. I think that's what he's using as the equal to delusion. To think that you want guys to have the highest standards but not women. Come on, man. Y'all should want the best out of each other, in my opinion. But I think they want to do the reverse of all the women that they've encountered who were the gold diggers, or the girls that was just looking for clout, and the girls that was just looking for the guys with money and looking for a come up. I think they want to bring these guys to that level, to where these guys don't get easily finessed. The guys that are simps, the guys that can't get a woman because they, like, you have to understand, they're teaching guys. The guys that go to their podcast are guys that need help getting women, which means they don't know how to talk to them. They don't know how to interact. They don't know how to, none of that. So they're trying to teach them how to come up on women who will easily finesse them. I understand that angle. But to generalize it makes them the people that sound like they're just projecting from their own personal experiences. Now, Akash had to call them out one more time because they were saying some weird shit. Let's hear what Akash had to say.
Well, this is something I want to. This is a digression from this, but it's something I wanted to bring up earlier, which is you're gonna say I prefer not dating black girls, but then you'll bring those same girls on your podcast and get views off of them and get money off of them. Explain to me how, and genuinely explain. I'm not trying to ask a rhetorical question. How is that not fucked up?
See, that goes to the same question. We don't like black girls, so why are they on the show?
To make money off of them and exploit them.
We don't need them to make money at all.
Your clips with the black girls where there's controversy are considerably more views
We
than
don't
your other
make them
clips.
act how they act. That's just how
Yeah,
they
it's
act.
live, man. It's a live show.
We do it live.
No.
Think about this, right, bro?
They don't barge into your studio unannounced and then invite themselves in the podcast.
They wanna come on the
and
show.
You let them on, bro.
Black, white, Asian, come on the show. We got
You want to come on this podcast? You hit up Andrew. If I didn't want you on, he wouldn't be on. We have say. It's our podcast. It's your podcast. You could easily say, no, I don't want them on. I don't fuck with these hood girls, whatever, like that. So I just don't want to deal with you. Period. I think it's a little bit trying to have your cake and eat it too.
I get what I said.
Just say,
I think it was a little. I think it's a little bit aggressive, the question, but I do understand.
I see where it's coming from. I'll answer it.
Yeah.
So we actually have a team that does it for us. So we don't actually deal with the girls. We actually have people that do it for us, that cast the girls to come on the show, and then they come and we meet them, and then we do the show, and everything is live. So there's no improv or edits or anything like that.
I guess what he's saying.
So we have a team that does it for us. That
But
brings them on.
you could also like in dating, you could also set a standard for the girls that you want to have on the pod, and I guess what you're saying is like you're having these girls that act in a way that you don't like. Why continue to have them?
you're gonna make money
Which I
off
think
of
is
them,
a reasonable
but then say,
question.
I just don't date these types of girls. But I'll have them on. Let's have some controversy. Let's make some money. Let me eat off of you. But I would never date you.
And also, just real quick.
And I think, I think it's kind of foul to say, oh, we don't choose those girls. You're their bosses. Whoever finds them, y'all are the
Before
bosses.
every show, we give everyone a fair warning. Hey guys, please be respectful on the show. One mic at a time. Black, white, Asian, doesn't matter. A fair, equal understanding. This is how the show runs. If they act out, that's not on us. And it is live. Our producer finds the girls. Hey, black, white, Asian, we don't care. You want to come on the show? Plug your stuff. We got you.
Is your producer your boss or are you your producer's boss?
Sorry?
That's what I think is kind
He's
of.
saying that you are at the end of the day, you're the boss of the show. You
You are.
dictate everything that goes
You're
on.
Fresh
in the
Prince
show.
CEO, bro. You're not Fresh Prince W2.
So here's the thing. We actually,
I know that. But my thing is like, if I want to bring girls on, why not?
Because I would never date this person. I don't like people like
My
that.
dating preference and coming on the show, what does that have to do with
You don't
anything?
think it's a little foul to exploit those people that you would never ever
It's
actually
not
have
exploit
interest
if they
in?
want to come on the show.
yeah, they a lot of the time they
Your
come,
opinion
they ask,
of
or
us
they want to
exploiting
come on.
them is your opinion. They have fun on the show. Cool. What's
Well,
wrong with that?
another thing too, I'll say is that we have our producer do it, so we delegate that authority to him because it's very time consuming to get the girls on, make sure they don't flake, book enough, organize their travel, talk to them on Instagram, whatever it may be. So we have people that do it for us. So when they show up, Chris, our producer, shout out to him. He basically tells them, "Hey guys, this is how the show goes." He gives them all the rules, etc., and they're okay with it. And then we come on the show, and then we'll have our discussions. And sometimes they get in their emotions from some of the things we say. They get mad. They might have a eruption, whatever, and then we tell them, hey, you got to go. But I will say this. We kick out a small minority of the women that actually come on. And
minority is
the
key word there, I think.
Minority is the key word there, I think. Look, man, you guys, if you haven't seen this, I think you guys should see how these guys had this conversation. I think there was a lot of holes poked in their agenda when it comes to what they do on their podcast. I think the way that they do things is based off of how their lives were. They were the guys who watched them now. And because they figured out, all it takes is money, popularity, and a place for us to help promote other scandalous, clout-chasing, money-hungry women. That's all we need? Okay, now let's have a platform where we could sit and try to give everybody else the code that's just like us. I think all they do is teach other guys who are just like them how to be them. That's what Fresh and Fit is. I don't think they do anything for the broad scale of men, because I'm pretty sure the men in this chat can say that they don't need Fresh and Fit to have a conversation with a woman, or to even get a woman, or to have sex with a woman. Is that fair to say for the men in the chat? So all I'm saying is that I get it now. I get it. But this was a good conversation, man, and it also went the way that I did. I didn't expect it to go that way, but it did happen how it should have happened. So if you guys did not catch that, I think you should. Now let's move on, because I have to talk about Ryan Davis' appearance on the Breakfast Club today. I think it was a very, very dope interview, very dope conversation. I think Ryan has grown a lot as a comedian and as a personality, and now an actor, getting his acting chops out there. I think that was I think him making those few appearances in the few shows, big shows, by the way, that he did, really, really helped catapult him in a different light, and had him be seen by a lot of people who he probably never thought would. But to start out the interview, something that I didn't expect to happen was Ryan Davis or Charlemagne immediately out the gate. I'm talking about within the first minute and a half, talking about the 5150 show. It was the most random shit in the world, but you could also tell Charlemagne didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. I think Charlemagne was trying to do some research, and probably one of the videos that came up was, videos between Ryan and Corey Holcomb, and he probably watched a few and was like, God damn. But but he asked him about it, and this is what he had to say.
It was a necessary tool.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite things to do is watch you ducking the smoke on the 5150 show.
Oh, yeah.
Corey don't give a fuck.
Corey, yeah. Right? This nigga, Corey don't care nothing about somebody's career, dog. I'm like, nigga, I'm still on the way up. Could you please not set me up to be canceled? Love that dude, though, but he don't give a fuck.
But that's honest, though. Do people even give you backlash for that, though? Just even.
Oh, yeah, they do. They were like, they go automatically, Ryan's scared. Ryan will wear the dress. I was like, how I end up in a dress? Because I don't want to answer his question.
Would you wear a dress?
No,
okay,
no.
Just asking.
Nah.
Did you see what Steve Harvey said about how he doesn't want to do another special because of cancel culture? He said sponsors and all of that, the only person who can say what he wants is Dave Chappelle, because he doesn't have to worry about sponsors and networks.
I don't know, man. I say what I want, so I don't know. So my thing is, there's a way to say stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes comics use that as and I'm not saying Steve Harvey is, but I feel like a lot of comics use that as an excuse not to do the work. Mm-hmm. Any joke you do, you just got to do it so well that the people that you're talking about laugh at it too.
Mm-hmm.
So do the work.
Mm-hmm.
But
But
that doesn't make you nervous at all, like that because this is a cancel.
You say y'all
culture.
niggas
They'll
lazy.
cancel you in a minute.
It's not real. It's just outrage. It's more outrage than actual cancellation.
But it's gotta ruin your sponsorship, your advertisements, and all that.
Yeah, it depends.
well, let's just say what you want. Say this. I don't want to lose my money. I don't want to play with my money
that
like
disclaimer.
that. But it ain't because again, you know what would Steve Harvey have to say to get canceled? It's Steve Harvey. He would have to say something ridiculous to get canceled.
By the way, they canceled Steve for actions. They canceled Steve. Well, you know, we use the word cancel, but they were outraged when he met with Trump.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
they
it's
tried
like
to cancel
it wasn't even
Yeah,
something
they
he said.
tried, and now he a judge. It doesn't stop.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean?
That's right.
It doesn't stop. Cancel. Who has been canceled? Let's just keep it real. Who?
I mean, really nobody. But people. I mean, like I guess when you go to prison, but even still, that don't stop nothing.
Even
really.
still, R. Kelly getting his streams.
Yeah.
And there's people that support him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one.
Bill
they-
Cosby was
alone.
canceled for a minute.
yeah.
But he's still rich.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't mind
I
being
mean,
rich
that
and
only
canceled.
helped. That only hurt like Elvin when they canceled him.
Elvin on power now.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's the only person I saw get hurt from canceling Bill Cosby.
He said Elvin. Do y'all think Charlamagne would ever go on 5150? I see Binky said Charlamagne would never do 5150. He's too corporate now. Damn. You think so? I don't know. Some people have taken a chance. I think, and it's funny because Charlamagne, you know, he uses the terms crack ass cracker all the time on the Breakfast Club doing, you know, Donkey of the Day. But even then, it's like he has to sit there and explain thoroughly all the time why he uses the word cracker ass cracker. He can't just say it because he knows that they have certain people to answer to. He has to be very clear about it. He's like, they always get hate mail and hate messages and people calling up to the station talking about Charlamagne is racist. And he has to explain to them, first of all, if I was the company getting those calls, I'd block those numbers and tell those people to kiss my motherfucking ass. Get the fuck out of here. We don't give a fuck. But Charlamagne has to he has to clarify when he's on the air talking about racist, like clear racist instances. It'll be a whole Donkey of the Day of some racist shit that happened. He's calling the person that was racist and did the racist shit a cracker ass cracker, and he got to sit there and explain why. Like, that's crazy to me. But he's on a corporate platform, so he has to do something like that. Now, Ryan Davis also proclaimed to be the best comedian of this generation. He's also going to sit here and explain why he feels that way. And also, he's going to talk about the fact that quality is low because there's no incentive to be great, aka the internet era where people can pretty much just kind of do anything on the internet and not really put any real skill towards anything. They don't have any other talents. They just find ways to use the internet to come up. And he understands that the internet is now a place where you don't have to try to be the greatest version of yourself. You can just kind of dumb it down. But you'll hear how he says.
When I literally say I'm the best comic of this generation, it's really the goal. Mm-hmm. If I feel like a joke can be done by somebody else, I throw it away. You know what I mean? I want to stand out. I want to stand out beyond all of that. And I believe we in a time right now where quality isn't as appreciated as it once was because there's so much out there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's no incentive for being great. So I have to push myself to be great. Yeah.
I wonder if you know, we laugh at so much stuff online, like just regular everyday stuff, things that people don't even mean to be funny. I wonder how is it to try to be funny now? Does it feel forced?
Not stand up is so different. Mm-hmm. You know, all the stuff you see on social media, you can't get away with 98% of that on stage. It's just a completely different thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? On stage, you're in front of people who don't really know you. Y'all don't have, you know, most of the stuff that people laugh on social media is because they relate to something. Mm-hmm. And you're watching it, they can paint a whole picture for you. You can use a whole bunch of stuff you edit and all of that. Stand up, I gotta be on stage in front of you guys for the first time and get y'all to understand my point of view without us ever having a conversation before. Mm-hmm. And do it in such a way that you get a laugh out of it. It's way more difficult there, and because of that, you know, it's a lot harder and it takes a lot more time. I don't think social media ruins stand-up at all.
Mm-hmm. I saw Joe.
Young Rain said, do y'all really like Ryan Davis? Now, of course it's subjective. If you don't, you don't. If you do, you do. in my opinion, I don't see a problem with Ryan. I mean, you'd have to give me a reason why you don't like him. I know some people, like, Damon just said right here. He said, Young Ryan be kind of arrogant sometimes. I can see how he comes off as arrogant. A lot of people who end up doing the things that they set out for themselves and they achieve them tend to have that arrogance about them, and they, to a certain extent deserve to feel confident in what they're doing because they're achieving these goals that they set out for themselves. I feel like a lot of people will feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? If you said you wanted to be the best lawyer in the world and you ended up being one of the best lawyers in the world, man, you walk in that truth. But I do see some of the arrogance too, like just kind of how he like says certain things or respond to certain people, especially like the that past 5150 show. But I will say this: he brought up in this interview about how he used to struggle in black rooms doing comedy because a lot of he couldn't relate to the black audience. He felt like he couldn't relate, and there's other big comedians out there who also went through that. You know what I'm saying? Dave Chappelle, who is arguably one of the best comedians of all time. The thing about it is he used to struggle in black rooms because they couldn't relate to him. You know what I'm saying? He had a different outlook on shit. He spoke different. His jokes were different because he wasn't speaking from a hood perspective necessarily. So there are definitely big comedians out there who have definitely had that in their beginning, not relating to the black audience because of the way that they did jokes or the way that they talk, shit like that. Like, you have to understand, when you go in certain rooms, especially when I hear about comedians talking about their early days and going to New York or going to Chicago or going to these rooms in these different places down south, how when you work the black rooms, you got to be on 100% your game. And how they don't hold no punches with nobody. If you come in there, you gotta be funny. And like he said, it's hard to be a stand-up comedian because you have to go into a room full of people you don't know and have them see things from your perspective right then and there. You know what I'm saying? For how much time you have allotted to you to do jokes. And to come out of that and to be able to be successful, you know what I'm saying? Especially as a black comedian, you got to give props to that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was something very poignant to point out because it's not just about comedy. I think that also reflects into real life when it comes to black kids who don't necessarily act like the stereotypical black kid or the black kid that's not from the hood or the black kid that lives in the hood but don't act like don't act hood and none of that shit. It's like there's always somebody looking at you different or somebody treating you different when you guys are both the same. It's a whole thing that we got. It's a stereotype of things, but I think that type of shit has died down, and I think it's been more accepting of black kids being more different and not trying to be the stereotypical shit because people understand the road that leads. We want to see more black kids grow up and do more productive things in their lives. We want to see that type of shit. I think it's the majority that wants to see that shit. So I think, the narrative has changed. There's no real stereotype behind that now. So I just wanted to speak on that real quick. But I want y'all to hear him talk about how he got his Curb Your Enthusiasm and also his Insecure roles because he was on Insecure and Curb Your Enthusiasm. I think it was at the end of last year or one of those, but let's go.
Well enough, I can just fly right out
How
there.
did the
It's not an
Insecure
issue.
role happen? Because that's my show.
Oh man, I love that show. I never thought I'd be on that show.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Prentice Penny, man, the showrunner, man.
Mm-hmm.
He actually saw my audition and he was just like, that dude, you know what I mean? And he gave me a shot. And then I just had one line on season 4 and I was like, cool, I got to do the little one line.
What was the one line?
You gonna eat your sandwich? I got hair in mine. So
you had a few more this season. You had the beach scene, the car scene.
So when they called me, they were like, you ready to do Insecure again? I was like, I don't have a reoccurring character. And they were like, you do now. And I was like, cool, man. I'm down to say another line.
Do you really like Jason Derulo that much?
Man. Probably. No, I say nah. I always like when getting ready for that role. I was like, man, I wonder what would a Jason Derulo fanatic really be like. So I tried to. I
was wondering was you ad libbing. I was like, I wasn't he picked Jason Derulo and they write that.
They wrote Jason
Okay.
Derulo. So it's some stuff that's ad libbed and then there's some stuff that's in the script. And it's just up to the actor to bring it to life. And I didn't realize how fun acting can be. You know what I mean? And Issa Rae, man, she creates an environment to where, you know, you could really, really have fun and when doing something like that. Like her, Yvonne, and Natasha, they made it really easy for me to be comfortable in the space because I'm not an actor.
Right.
And, you know, I didn't ever really feel uncomfortable on set with them, man. And that out of all the projects that I've done, all the things that I've seen, I've never seen so many black people on a set in my life. And it was a couple of people told me, don't get used to that. That's not what they're doing over there at Insecure is special. You know, and I'm just grateful to be able to do it because to me, that show is legendary.
I know, I'm going to
100%.
miss that show so much, man. That's one of my, and you were on another one of my favorite shows, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curb, man. That was great. You know, I made Larry David break character. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing. This dude's been doing improv. That show been improv, and then whenever he broke character and was like, "Kid, you're funny," I was like, "Ain't nobody tell me I'm not funny."
What happened?
Larry
What
David
happened?
said it.
Yeah, so I was doing we were doing the TSA. He was going through the airport, passing everybody, and he got to the front of the line, and he saw two black people there. And he was like, "Oh no, y'all can go in front of me," but they weren't together. He just assumed they were together.
So randomly funny.
So he
Larry
goes
David's
through
hilarious, man.
trying to explain, you know, why he isn't racist. And then whenever he comes to me, I'm the TSA agent. I told him he'd been chosen for a random check. And he's like, I know what you're doing. You because of what's going on. I was like, yeah, I'm their cousin. And and when I said that, he broke character and we had the cut. I was like, damn, I wish they had kept that. But he was like, nah, you funny, kid. I was like, all right, man. Larry David.
The way he
salute you,
acts
man.
on Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Yo,
I feel like I would never want to say anything to him in real life because he's so.
Man, it's hard to stand in front of that. Like when you see it on TV and it's funny, when he's right in front of you making those faces, it's really testing your ability to keep a straight face for real.
now let me just say this real quick. Shout out to you, Damon. Damon is saying DC Young Fly over Ryan. Anybody on 85 South over Ryan. See, now I gotta point out the problem with us. These are two completely different comedians that do two completely different types of stand-up type of comedy. They are in two totally different lanes. Matter of fact, they don't even get brought up in meetings when they sign contracts. Like, so DC Young Fly, you ever heard of Ryan Davis? Or, hey, Ryan Davis, before you sign this contract, you heard of DC Young Fly? Nah, man, they are in their own lanes, and I think we play a big part in trying to pin successful black people against each other. Matter of fact, it's crazy. I should find this clip, but in this same interview, the same people you're talking about, he gave them so much props. He said it's crazy how people aren't talking about the 85 South show and the things that they're doing the way that they would talk about somebody else selling out the Palladium and doing a whole bunch. Like, 85 South is moving so crazy right now. It's weird how their names are being brought up more often. And he made that known in this interview. See, he's giving them props. He wouldn't pin himself against those people because they're all becoming successful in their own right. And I want us to continue to big up the successful black people out here so that we won't have to pin them against each other. And it's also how certain beefs start between people. When a narrative gets created between the fans, like, oh, so-and-so better than this guy and this guy better than that guy, and then they have to work together. And then next thing you know, these motherfuckers have this type of disdain or this type of discomfort between each other when they wouldn't have it in the first place. You know what I'm saying? I think we do a good job at creating those type of things. But I think just me being that type of person, man, we got to continue to uplift motherfuckers. Now, speaking of uplifting, speaking of lifting up, you know, there are pastors out there who are supposed to lift you up, you know what I'm saying, in your time of feeling down, and you know what I'm saying, and they're supposed to be there for you and be the teachers in the congregation, you know what I'm saying, that you need when it's time to hear the word and to have some type of blessing upon your life. This wasn't the case. We have a pastor named Pastor Michael Todd. All right. Michael Todd decided to display a video that I don't want to play. It's very disturbing. Very disturbing. Very disturbing. He thought it would be a good idea during his sermon to try to teach his congregation that this spittle that he was about to unleash upon his hand would symbolize God's blessings, or trying to get blessings from God, or asking for I don't know what. I guess it was to show how ugly the journey is to reaching your blessings, or something, like whatever type of weird ass analogy he used. But he spit, and I'm not talking about just spit once, but he hocked up a loogie. Spit in his hand twice, and then turned around to his brother. This motherfucker over here looking like, God rest his soul, my man T'Challa, fucking Black Panther ass looking motherfucker, turned to his brother and wiped the spittle on his face. And it wasn't just somebody from the congregation. It wasn't somebody just random. This was his biological brother. Biological brother that he did this to. Let me just say something, man. These pastors are getting weird. They're doing dumb shit. I don't know why they feel like they're Jesus. I don't know what it. I can't stress it enough. I don't know why they do this type of shit. I don't know what. Yes, he spit in his hand twice. It wasn't just once. It was twice. This was being live streamed to tens of thousands of people, and there was a lot of people in this church. I want you guys to take a look at who this pastor is and tell me that this don't seem like somebody who is a clout-chasing pastor who will do anything to continue on getting that bread from the congregation. Look at this guy. Listen, and also I want you to listen to his explanation. This is his explanation of what happened. This is from his actual Twitter account. He typed, "It's never my intention to distract others from God's word and the message of Jesus, even with illustrations. I apologize for my example being too extreme and disgusting. I love everybody." Listen to what this weirdo had to say.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope you're having an amazing Monday. I just want to acknowledge what happened yesterday when the spit hit the fan. I watched it back, and it was disgusting. Like, that was gross. I want to validate everybody's feelings. That was a distraction to what I was really trying to do. I was really trying to make the word come alive and for people to see the story. But yesterday it got too live, and I own that. And I just want to make sure people know that we want to help people. We want people to see Jesus. We want people to feel loved. We want people who are desperate to be able to find hope. And I'm passionate about that, so much so that I try to do extreme things to help people get it. And yesterday it crossed the line. So I love you guys. I appreciate everybody that's been praying for us and sending us messages. And to anybody who just saw that 3-minute clip, I really encourage you to go back and watch the whole message. There's some truth and some life in there that could potentially change your whole life.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Why would you want people to go back to what? No. If it's disgusting, if it's not the way that it should have went down, nigga, you need to do it over. You need to do it over, and you need to stream that shit, put the video up, however else you want to fucking put it. I don't give a damn. No, there's nothing that's gonna teach anybody anything from that video besides the fact that you're nasty, besides the fact that you did this just to get some views. Because nowadays you can do some controversial shit and all you got to do is come out and apologize, especially when you a pastor, when you have a congregation full of people who may or may not already be under your spell to believe that you really out here doing the Lord's work. You know what I'm saying? All he had to do was just tell people, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I went too far trying to spread the Lord's word, and come see me next Sunday when I ask you for offering. Come on, man. Sorry, I'm rolling a joint. I wanted to be able to roll it before the video was over, but I want y'all to hear the rest of the seconds that he had.
When Jesus spit on that man, he was blind and then he could see. For my brother who I love and honor so much, I just called him. He was bald before I spit on him, and he's still bald today. So no miracle here, and so next time I'll rethink and do something differently. I love everybody. I'm praying for everybody.
Listen to this, man.
Transformation Nation, thank you for riding. We're going to represent God to the lost and found for transformation in Christ. All right? Everybody, have an amazing week. Peace.
This nigga's a nut. This nigga's a nut. And exactly exactly the next point I was going to get to. You are describing a miracle from Jesus. My nigga, you are not Jesus. Why do you think that you can spit on your hand and make a miracle happen? You're not Jesus. And this is the mentality of a lot of these pastors, and especially it gets amplified the more you put your money into this shit. See, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna continue to say this. Churches should, when they take offering, they should be taking these individual offerings and they should be setting these shits aside in separate banks for these people who give offering every Sunday. And by the end of the year, give them back the money that they put in to that, because it's a church. Y'all don't get taxed. You don't get taxed, my guy. So let's give the congregation the blessings that you guys continue to say they're going to get week after week, but they come back week after week stressed the fuck out, depressed, and trying to hear the word to escape from the week that they about to have once again. Waiting on blessings to happen, but the pastor keep getting blessed. Pastor keep having all these blessings rain down on him. I wonder why. Because it's that fucking money. But if you gave it back to the people that actually gave it to the church, oh, everybody could be okay out here. Everybody could be learning how to save money. Everybody could really learn about some type of beginner's generational wealth type shit. All we know is to give and be selfish. That's it. And that's from a human standpoint. In these churches, man, I'm telling you, man, watch for people like this. Watch for people like this. He's making a joke out of something that was, bruh. Stop it. Be careful, man. Be careful out here. GMS fam, the green room, y'all know what time it is. If you did not participate in the chat, now is your time. I want to see a GMS in the comments right now. Put a GMS in the comments. Also, if you didn't do it, man, make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell on the way out. Follow me on my socials. I follow everybody back. Hey, for those who are trying to catch Club GMS, where I actually DJ and spin records, we gonna try to move this to Twitch. So I'm gonna have a link for everybody soon, so everybody can hit a link on the Twitch channel and pull up to Club GMS so that we can party together. We gonna try to do this shit on Twitch, man. So once I have all that shit figured out, I'm gonna make sure I promote it. I'm gonna make sure, and I hope that y'all promote it as well to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Share it on your socials and make sure we get Club GMS popping every week. All right. Shout out to Black Hippie, Ricky, Young Rain, Binky, Bianca. Make sure you go subscribe to her. She did a video on the Fresh and Fit and Flagrant 2 situation. Y'all should go and give that a view right now, especially right after you get done watching this shit. Go right to Binky Bianca's channel and go check out her breakdown of the situation. You're gonna love it. Shout out to Sanaa, Trey979, Arius, Baby G, JR Miller, my nigga NBA old boy with Zen Master. Make sure you go subscribe to him as well. All my sports fans, NBA fans, go get your coverage. Go get your motherfucking insight from my guy Zen Master. Reality Watch in the building. Roz Mix, Theodora NYC, Prophylactic Tactics, Damon Harris. He said, GMS, no update on Billy Sorrells. LMAO, nope. I haven't seen an interview. There hasn't been no more posts, and nothing else has been said. Black Babel has posted a few times on his channel of different situations, but there's nothing else that has come from this situation. So until I find out more, we are stuck in limbo. Shout out to Dip, Levine, C Mo, Hank in the building. Yeah, Trey, IG was shutting me out after 5 minutes. See, we were doing Club GMS on my IG, but Instagram was being some hoe-ass niggas, and they kept blocking us out and stopping the fun. So what we gonna do is move it over to Twitch, and once I figure out how to do all that shit with the streaming and all that shit and the sound, y'all gonna have to pull up to my Twitch channel and catch the motherfucking vibes. Anybody that's ever been in Club GMS, they know how lit it is. I don't want y'all to miss it, man. We spin oldies, news, mid, all that shit. We spin everything, man. And it's always a good vibe, man. And I'm really improving on my DJing, man. Y'all gotta come fuck with me, man. Come fuck with me. Click those links you see right there, man. JR Miller's posting them right there. The GMS shop. We got new GMS shirts coming in. For anybody that's ordered a GMS shirt, sorry for the wait. We were getting new ones made, so I wanted to make sure y'all got the new GMS shirts, which are on the way to whoever ordered them recently. Hit the GMS Beats link for more GMS Beats. Hit the GMS IG link. Go follow me on my socials. I follow everybody back. 3G's podcast tonight at 8 o'clock. Pull up to that. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Make sure you get the notification when we go live. You don't want to miss that episode. Shout out to Wonder Man. I see y'all. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all so much for pulling up on me today. We're going to have a new outlook on this motherfucking channel, man. It's going to be a new beginning, and I hope y'all still rocking with me for the rest of the year, man, and beyond. GMS fam, the Green Room, we out.